Hey, sweet. We are officially live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chiropractic Compass podcast, brought to you by the legendary Chiropractor online community. We are sitting down tonight with the famous Dr. Mike Reid out in Richmond, Virginia. He has a practice with his wife now, and they are just exploding. And he has so many tips and tricks and practice growth strategies to share with us this evening, and I cannot wait, Doc. I'm so excited to get into this. So without further ado, I want to spread this message and this video like wildfire across Facebook. So while I do that, please feel free to introduce yourself, tell people where you're coming from, and a little bit about your background and how you got into chiropractic.
Hey guys, well first of all, thanks for having me on, Johnny. I appreciate it. And just give you some background. I've been in the profession for 27 years, graduated from CMCC in 1992, but I got my real education down at life, which is kind of cool. So I had this little Nissan Micra, John. It was a little clown car. We used to pack, 5 chiropractors, and then we'd bomb down to Atlanta, Georgia. We used to watch Sid drop the keys, and it was really interesting because that's when I became a chiropractor. And I went, oops, went to the wrong college. But we had a lot of underground technique sessions, philosophy, and I really got the bug of being down to life. So, for the doctors who are going to life, thumbs up, man. You're in a great place with Dr. Reid and Sheila Marsh and all the Shaker movers down there. I heard Bruce Lipton's down there as well. So you guys are in the best place you could be to learn a real chiropractic education. So anyhow, just coming back, what I used to do is I started getting coached back in 1990. I graduated in 92. So ironically, I've been coaching longer than I've been in chiropractic. And John Whitney, the late John Whitney, who is Canadian, he lived down in Georgia as well for a bit. He basically got me excited about practice management. And ever since 1990, I've been coached. I have coached now. I stay coached. And what that did, it allowed me to build to 1,000 a week practice. Did 7 figures. And I'm saying that not to impress you, but press upon you that each person listening to this has the ability to grow the practice. So what I want to do with you guys is share with you all my 27 years of knowledge. I'm going to data dump it. So hopefully you're not just listening, you guys have pen and paper. Because I'm not gonna blow any sunshine up your ass. I'm gonna give you the goods. Here's what we're finding is working around the world. And it doesn't matter if you're in the UK, if you're in US, Canada, Australia, Malaysia. I have doctors all over the world that we coach. And the amazing thing is the system that works. So I have an old saying, Johnny, is that there are no borders in chiropractic.
Love it.
If you go out there and you're hungry and you want to serve and you want to build a great practice, you can. But there's a dark side. And to talk about dark side, I just want to sort of interrupt. We ran out of power tonight. So I don't know if a raccoon stepped up on the transformer or was a brownout or what, but I'm going to show. I got a lantern here. I read my notes.
I love it.
My wife threw me a burger over here. So it's like she's locked me in my home office, and I'm just doing this. So if it looks a little dark in the background, guys, it's because we have no light. So here's how I want to start this, guys. Is there's this? I want to talk a little bit about discrepancy and congruency, because one of the things that you and I know and understand is that chiropractic is one of the best kept secrets in the world. It's one of the best kept professions, especially when you're out there and you start adjusting people, you're doing mission trips, you start to see miracles, and your hands will guide you, and they will guide you as to how to adjust people. But the public perception and the utilization rate, there's this huge gap. So we go, oh my gosh, we got this best kept secret. The public needs us. The public doesn't get it, and that's because we don't have like big pharma behind us. And the other issue is congruency. You and I would get adjusted once a week on average for the rest of our lives. Mm-hmm. And I know students, and if you're interning, you're probably getting adjusted a couple times a day. But on average, when I've surveyed doctors around the world, the average chiropractor gets adjusted once a week. That's 52 times a year. That's over 2,000 times in, say, a 40-year span. The point I'm trying to make here is that you and I get adjusted regularly. Why shouldn't our patients? I want you guys to hold on to that, because nobody out there can really challenge me on that. There's few chiropractors get adjusted once a month, some every 2 weeks, but on average, I've done the surveys, and you guys put your hand up. You're getting once a week. So let me just share with you why that discrepancy and that issue of congruency creates a problem. Because right now, worldwide, the PDA, the patient visit average is 10. That means the average person coming to your practice worldwide comes in for 10 adjustments and they're gone for life. They're not getting adjusted again. And that's deplorable, and to me, it's totally unacceptable. The number of new patients that the average chiropractor sees worldwide is 10. Now, when you take a PVA of 10, new patients of 10, that works out to roughly about 100 patient visits a week. And I have a research background. I'm analytical on numbers. I crunch a lot of numbers for doctors. We do something called a business audit. And here's the, I guess, the sadness behind this, Johnny, is that that really covers your overhead. So a lot of doctors are struggling, hence we have a 40% attrition. Now that's the dark news. That's the bad news. Doom and gloom, Dr. Mike. No. But here, let's go to the light side. So let's go to the light. So we're gonna go to the light because a number of years ago, and this goes back, I was giving a seminar in Ottawa. I'm Canadian, by the way, so if you hear the about and the A's in there, that's why. But I'm really Americanized, so I'm a Canadian American, something like that. I guess you'd call me.
There we go. Yep.
So I'm at the Chateau Laurier having a lunch. This is 1998 with Patchen Temple. Many of you know Patchen Temple. He's one of the thought leaders, one of the great leaders in chiropractic. He ran CLA, CWA for years. 1998, Chateau Laurier. We're having lunch, and he asked me. He says, "Mike, what do you think the future of chiropractic? What's it going to look like?" And I said, "Pat, hands down, it's going to be high volume, family, subluxation, lifetime wellness, cash." And he goes, "I agree with you. And there's going to be some technology in there so we can quantify objectively structure and nervous system." Now, the importance between that is because where I'm going with this is we need to get away from the pain model. There's a movement right now worldwide where you have medical doctors who are adopting our belief system. They're moving towards learning how to adjust. They're getting away from drugs and surgery. So there is an awakening, a revolution where people are saying, "Hey, I want what chiropractors have, but we're doing it. That's kept secret out there. We're not telling the world." So if you guys think about, when we go back to 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it's a great sort of Stephen Covey book you need to read. He always said, start with start with the end in mind. Think about what it is that you want in practice, and do you want a big practice or a small practice? Do you want subluxation, wellness base? Do you want multiple services or no services? What is it that you want? Because here's what I want to share with the doctors who are listening. Larger is not better. More staff is not better, and more services are not better. So what there's a movement towards is a shrinkage towards getting back to the core, which is chiropractic. Because it's easy to say, "Oh, I'm going to get massage therapy, it's going to pay for my overhead," or "I'm going to do, acupuncture, and I'm going to bring in, all these other services," but it dilutes everything in your practice. And the guys who are really growing are those who are principle-based, they're wellness-based, they're subluxation-based, they talk to tick, they are chiropractors. And that's, if I can urge the doctors who are listening, sitting on the fence, and they're kind of confused, which way do I go? Go chiropractic. Immerse yourself in the green books. Read philosophy. Understand the essentials of above, down, inside out that allows the body to express itself 100%, and you want to be like that for life. So that's really important. So let me just share with them the best models out there, because one of the things that I'm a big advocate of is building a practice somewhere between 300 and 500 a week. I know some doctors are like, 300 a week, I can't see 300 a week. But, my wife's in a brand new practice, and she adjusted like 62 people yesterday, and it's just like a walk in the park. She's like, "I'm staying around half the time." I said, "Sweetie, that's right. You can easily do 60 to even 100 a shift." That was a full day. So she had lots of room to grow. And the system I'm going to share with you is how we do it, right? So, one, moving towards, that's great, baby. That's good. So moving towards a volume subluxation-based practice. My wife's bringing all sorts of candles in there. It's getting darker. Yeah, next thing you know, she's bringing out the Ouija board, right?
Yeah.
There's that going on here. I'm surrounded by candles here. And it's warm in here, so if you see me sweating, that's why. So a volume subluxation-based practice and, a corrective-based model, too. That sort of initial intensive care pain-based is sort of going by the wayside. We have the technology and the techniques behind corrective care. Now, Deed Harrison is one of the leaders out there with CBP. I highly recommend from Deed. He's got great technology, great advancements, and the science behind it, which is really great. And I really like to see the doctors move to, because I'm going to talk about systems, and there's a technique that you can actually sort of import into your practice, where you can actually take that reverse curve, you can make structural changes anywhere from 6 to 12 months or more, and you can quantify it, show it to patients, and you can actually show neurological integrity issues. And I'm big on, like, CLA's Substation, the Insight 7000, or you use something like Mile Vision, but some sort of technology that allows you to quantify neurological distress in the body. And because one of the issues that we have, Johnny, right now is that things like pain, that's 10% of the nervous system, right? So what about the other 90%?
Right.
Pain dissipates very quickly. Range of motion, posture, leg length, weight distribution, all that normalizes very quickly. So what do you got left? Well, chiropractors, we're spine and nervous system. So now that's what you have. You have spine and nervous system quantified, and you can actually show patients through comparative exams as you go through care. And some doctors won't, really? You can do that? Yeah, because now you're accountable to the patient, and that is your objective criteria, not subjective. Subjective is pain. You cannot measure pain. You cannot measure pain. Pain is subjective to the patient. It's nociception to the brain. It's how it interprets it. So, because you can be feeling great one day, and you can have pain the next day, right? You can have a hangover the next day. That's painful. But that doesn't really quantify health. There's no research out there that says once you're out of pain that you're healthy. So what we can use now is objective criteria, and that's what's huge. And then, if the doctors want to add secondary services, I'm big on spinal decomp. I'll tell you why. One, spinal decompression allows you the difficult cases, which you're going to see in your practice, which are the disc herniations. And two, those patients can easily be converted to lifetime chiropractic care. So when you hear me talking, I'm very adamant about my systems predictably allow patients to move towards wellness care for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do, because that's congruent with how I get adjusted, how my kids have been adjusted since birth and will continue to get adjusted because they got the big idea. And what I believe, if the doctors just adopted the philosophy, if they just strapped on a pair of gonads and told the truth, and I'm going to talk about how and why to do that, their practice would literally explode. And then the third component, if they're going to do anything, is functional nutrition. Now, that's just my belief system, because I'm big on nutrition, I'm big on exercise, I'm big on paleo. You can delegate that your practice. I put a naturopath in my practice for the cancers, for the heart disease, for the metabolic disorders. I didn't want to deal with it, but it was a service in my practice. I delegated it to her, and it was $5,000 to $10,000 passive income per month. So don't see it as a mixer. See it as multiple services that you can have in your practice. And those services also create a great profit margin. So when you look at, am I going to make money from massage? No, you make no money from massage. You can fool yourself and think, it's going to cover overhead. But you're going to have challenges at your front desk with bookings, with turnover massage therapists. It's just a pain in the ass to have your practice. So volume chiropractic, spinal decompression, and functional nutrition. And those are minor ones. So let me just go into the blueprint. Now, I want to share with doctors. Now, this is 27 years, guys, in practice, coaching hundreds of doctors around the world. And just to share with you that a lot of my top docs, they'll do $1 million, 1.2, 1.6. I've got one female doctor doing $2 million a year. So you're thinking, wow, you can actually have a great living with chiropractic? Yeah, you can. And then I have a lot of doctors, 20, 25 years, they're now transitioning to multiple practices, and they're moving away from adjusting and sort of management of practices. So the very first thing, I want you guys to write this down, and this is important. This comes with think with the end in mind, and that is vision, okay? You need to have vision in your practice. There's 5 key areas. So the first component of vision is your systems and your practice layout. And if you guys get a chance, you can go to my wife's practice and see. It's a website that I created. I have my own digital marketing company, but her website is HFC Wellness, Health First Chiropractic Wellness, so hfcwellness.com. And on that site, you'll see her office layout. Open concept, front desk people come in, they sign in, they go around a wall, they self-load on a T-bar system, people are prepaid, pre-booked, they get adjusted, they come around the other side on the wall, they check out, so we have an NCA, LCA, and so it's like a circular pattern. And, she's loving it, because she goes, oh my gosh, Mike, she goes, like, I saw her 62. It's a brand new practice, keep in mind, and we're growing, she'll max at about 400 a week. But here we are in this T-bar layout, the system. It's not closed rooms. So we can see where patients are. It's like a kitchen party. It's fun. It's high energy. People are talking to each other. People are just getting adjusted. So there's no disclosure. There's no, HIPAA violations or anything like that. But then people check out and they're loving and they're referring friends, they're referring family. It's a totally different energy. It's a totally different vibe, and it's spa-like. And that's the thing. It's not your sort of, even if you remember the old, you might be too young, Johnny, but the old medical doctors used to have these walls, and the CA would slide a little glass door, and she looked through it, and you see these glasses.
Yep.
We used to call those the fuck you windows. It's like, oh, fuck you. And they shut the window. And it's like, now it's open concept. It's wide open. We have a freshman area. We have a reception area for new patients. And we have a hot seat area. It was really cool because the energy. And now I've discovered, and I'm going to talk about this, I have a book the doctors can get from my website. It's called the Pies Form Code. It's an ebook right now, but we're finishing the next 34 chapters, and they'll be able to get it, and they can walk through everything that I'm talking about tonight, plus 101 split test and observations to grow the 7-figure practice. So it's going to be a really hot book. I'm excited. I'm just finishing. It's going to go to print, ready for September sometime. Doctors can buy it, and all they have to do is follow the systems that I'm teaching doctors around the world. They don't even have to coach with me. They have my library. We'll talk about that. But there's a lot of great resources that doctors can tap in and they can learn from. So vision includes your practice layout and your systems. Now, I'm going to get into systems in a bit, but one thing that we don't do on day one, which is the exam, we don't adjust. That's a no-no. So we discovered there has to be a gap between the exam and the report time. And the report time includes the first adjustment. And we don't do that essentially at the exam. So there's a gap, usually a day or two, and then come back with the report. So systems and practice layout. The next one is marketing and vision. You have to have a marketing plan. Now, this is one of the key areas that I really focused on over the years because initially, Chiropractic Masters was guerrilla marketing. I had doctors, hundreds of doctors come to my seminar learning how to attract new ones. Everybody wants new ones. That's a good thing. It's also a bad thing. And what I mean by the bad thing is that when you are marketing yourself, the doctors bring a lot of people in, they blow them out the door, but you have to have the ability to convert and retain and then back in through wellness care. And that's really important. So if doctors are listening, draw a little square, and in each corner or each side, an attraction, conversion, retention, and then wellness and upsell. So attraction, conversion, retention, and wellness or upsell. And that's important because those are the four corners of what I call the 4-quadrant model for practice growth. When we do a business audit, a lot of doctors go, hey, Mike, I'm getting lots of new ones in. I'm not keeping them. So we'll talk about how to do that through one step called the doctor's report, which is absolutely critical. And then you got to retain them through care plans, which is essential. And care plans work around the world. I know some doctors don't like them, but it's better than a PVA 10. And patients start to see the lifestyle changes. That's really important because when people stick with chiropractic care and they get through the pain and you make structural neurological changes, Johnny, what happens is they start noticing lifestyle changes. And then the chiropractors who've been in practice for a couple years get that. People sleep better, they have more energy, they have better lifestyles, less colds and flus, better sex, better energy. I mean, everything changes in their lives, and people go, hey, I want to keep that, I want to stick with that, and that's where the wellness comes in the background. Yeah. And those are the best practices to have. And, I had a very, very strong wellness-based practice. We had 1,000 weeks coming through my practice. It was all cash, there was no insurance, and people paid for it. And it was roughly about $35,000 to $40,000 a month just in income from wellness-based recurrence fees on a regular basis. The next component of vision is clinical. And I sort of touched on base with that, and that's where you should have x-ray in your practice. Yes, x-ray is important. Go digital, especially new kids coming out, you want to go digital. I'm big on biokinemetrics. They've got a great ChiroSight technology, allows you to digitize and mark the x-rays really quick. So you take the pictures, you pop it up on the screen, you digitize it, and you've got a record. And then CLA for the insight, and that allows you to look at the autonomic nervous system, the voluntary component nervous system, and then heart rate variability, which is really a reflection of your body's ability to adapt to stress. And from that, you get a core score. Now, that's a neurological index number that you can quantify and see the number go up. Much like measuring blood pressure, we're just measuring neurological integrity of the body. So when I talk about clinical, those are the two things. Write that down, docs. 3 stars beside it, x-ray and neurological. And if some doctors go, well, I can't afford it. You can't afford not to because you're losing thousands and thousands of dollars, and you can get these systems to actually increase your income, etc. The next component of vision, there's five sort of arms of this, is your financial care plans. And then I want you to write this down, docs, the doctors listening to this. because I've got a research background and I measure, monitor, and I watch doctors around the world. Your average recommendations to patients becomes what your average PVA is. So your average recommendations become your average PVA. So if you're going, oh, hey, let's just try 12 adjustments and see how that works, you may as well slice your throat because that patient's with you for 12, and they're gone.
Yeah.
So when you have objective criteria, if you know a phase 1 has been there for 10 to 15 years, a phase 2, 20, 25 years, and you can make quantitative structural changes, and you share that with the patients, they want that. Because people want to get well. The movement with yoga, with Pilates, with nutrition, everyone wants wellness, and we as chiropractors have the best kept secret. Let's get away from that pain-based model, which sucks, it's incongruent, it's destructive chiropractic, because those people are going to go out and their problems relapse because you didn't fix the tilted pelvis or the reverse curve of the neck, and they're still neurologically on fire. So what happens? They get a relapse, and they go, I tried chiropractic, it didn't work.
Right.
Use objective criteria to make that change. And then the last component of vision is team. And I like to always talk about titanium teams, because the most important thing the biggest challenge, I should say, that doctors have is finding the right team members. So find the right team members. I'll talk about that in a second, because I'm going to go into blueprint. So let's go into the blueprint component. We shared the vision on 5 key areas. And the first component of blueprint I want to share with you is systems. Okay, now let me just share with the doctors what works out there. And I've taken doctors that will come to me out of desperation or inspiration, and they'll say, hey, Dr. Mike, I need help to get my practice from 100 to 150, or 150 to 250, or I'm stuck at 250 and want to go to 3. I've got doctors at 5 and 600 a week. So it is possible to do. And the better your systems get, the well-oiled your machine is, the smoother it goes. And I used to have doctors come and visit me, Johnny. I have 2-3 doctors in my practice some days, and I would be seeing between anywhere from 150 on a slow day to 250 on a busy day, a full day. And
awesome.
You go, how could you do that? How could you do that, Mike? Here's a blueprint. So here's a blueprint of things that you need to do, guys. Day 1, write this down, is your exam and no adjustment. You don't do an adjustment on day 1. Day 1's your exam. You check them out, front desk. We have a proprietary script that we use, and we check them out, and they come back to day 2, which is your doctor's report. Now, I mentioned there's one thing that every chiropractor should do out there, and that's the doctor's report. Because if you get them to day 2, and day 2 is they'll come back, we do ours on Mondays and Wednesday nights. We have so many patients coming into our practice right now. Monday and Wednesday nights they come back. We do a group lecture. They sit down. We have music going. I'm shaking hands. I know everyone's name. I'm schmoozing with them. I'm building the like and trust over that period of time. And if you build like and trust, it's pretty well game over, because people need to trust you before they buy from you. So I want doctors who are listening to write this down. Before people buy from you, they must like and trust you. You should never ever have to sell chiropractic. Never ever have to set up. Never use scare tactics. Always make it a benefit for the patient. Make it easy to fall into chiropractic. So the care plans are designed to give them options. They use defaults. If they don't want to get on care plan, allow them to pay per visit, because you don't want to blow them out the water, affect your reputation. And if there is a financial issue, you want to use a company called ClearGauge. Now, ClearGauge is being used by chiropractors across North America. It's a phenomenal system. It's like a credit card for chiropractic services. As low as 10%, it gets spread over 12 months, 18 months. It makes monthly payments affordable. So we create win-win-win situations right across the board.
Yeah.
But people have to come to our doctor's report, and I'll lecture for about 30 to 40 minutes. And I go through the research and the benefits. I go through normal, abnormal findings. I talk about kids. I talk about innate intelligence. I talk about subluxation. Yes, the S word. We talk about the S word. I know some colleges are trying to get rid of it. I just heard in California they try to get rid of it, which is creating an outrage, and that's sacrilegious to me. You want to talk about correction, about making structural changes. You want to talk about neurological changes, and you want to talk wellness. Yep. And I go through that, and I've done this report over 1,300 times. I do it twice a week. Patients sit there, they listen to me, and then we take them back individually for their individual report of findings. And that doctor's report, Johnny, increases your conversions by 400%. We have discovered that PVA goes through the roof. Your patient visit average goes through the roof. People get the big idea. They start referring friends and family. And this creates this snowball effect because I'm going to talk about marketing in a bit, and you want to get multiple pillars in your practice going. All right? So day one, exam. Day two, doctor's report, first adjustment.
So, Doc, you're going from a group report. You're going from a group report to individuals. Do the other individuals wait around for their time? How long are those single reports?
That's right. So we'll do 5 or 6 that night. Now, if you have a massive group, you have them trip into the very next day on your clinical time. When you're non-prime time, when you're not adjusting, they come in individually. Every 10 minutes, you do that individual report, give them the first adjustment.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's easy for Dr. Reid's the only adjusting doctor in the office. I'm just more of a clinic director. I educate. We do reports together, and then she does all the adjusting.
Awesome.
So that brings me to the next key area. I mentioned this is corrective care and going more cash. Now, there's this movement in the United States, Canada, UK, and Australia are cash-based. In the United States, there's a movement moving away from insurance, going more cash. And I'm a big advocate of that because, one, people value it more. But if you set them up on a care plan, and I'll give you an example, the care plans that are really working well are 6 months with the default to a 3 month. So it's a 44 adjustments with 3 month default, maybe 24 to 36, and then from there they can pay per visit. But our care plans have a 95% acceptance rate. They're about $2,500. If people have insurance, you're going to check with the insurance company, show what the insurance is going to pay. Whether you bill it to the insurance company, they pay the difference. And then from there, or you can just charge them the full fee and then give them the super receipt and they collect from the insurance. Doesn't matter. Either way it works. But the key with this is having a care plan. Because I said earlier, your average PDA comes with your average recommendations are. Now, at the back end of that, when you're finished that 6 month or 3 month, you're going to reassess them. And we look at objective criteria, so x-rays and scans, and then beyond pain. And then what happens, we introduce them wellness care. And wellness care, on average, every 2 weeks. Some people once a week, some people every 3, every 4. But now they have a choice. And most people choose every 2 weeks. Some will choose once a week. The ones that have a money issue or they travel or whatever, or once a month. And I'd rather have a person get adjusted once a month. Now we have a 95% conversion to wellness care for life. And that's what's really cool. So this whole system, day one, day two, care plans, education into wellness care goes through the roof. So this is where I'm a big advocate of learning CBT with Harrison. Head of on. Mike Henriksen out in Arizona teaches PSC, postural structural corrective care. So learn one of those corrective techniques and start using care plans. And I'll talk to the doctors in a bit. They can actually access a lot of these from my library. We'll talk about that at the end. Next component is team. And write down titanium teams because teams are critical. Now, I've been very blessed. I've been Tony Robbins trained for 10 years. I did his Mastery University. I actually ran his fortune management company for chiropractors for a couple years. We ended up parting ways, but I learned a lot from Tony. And one of the things that I look at in, if I could use the words of wisdom of the doctors who are listening, is can do, will do, share the vision. So write that down. Can they do it? Will they do it? And do they share the vision? So our team already knows that we're bringing our practice up to 700 a week with supplementation, wellness-based chiropractic, lifetime wellness, cash, more cash than insurance. We are going to put spinal decomp in there, and we're going to have possibly a functional nutritionist in there. Dr. Shreen's rolling out her own nutrition program. She just might do it. But they see where the office is going, and that model's a $2 million model. That's where we're going. That's how we're building it. And then from there, we reverse engineer it. We schedule to goals. So we know how many new patients we have to have. We know what our PVA is. We know what our income per adjustment is. We know all of that. So now it's a well-oiled machine that takes us to the top. But the team's got to be on board because you're only as strong as your weakest link in your practice. Mm-hmm. And they will hold you back. So titanium teams include your code of conduct. How do people conduct themselves? They have agreements. So yeah, we hire people on. We have agreements on how they're going to get paid in their bonus systems. We have mandates and 5 objectives. We set 5 objectives every quarter. So we give the staff, the team, 5 objectives to build practice. We do performance evaluations. And then we do weekly training, goals, and bonuses. Now, we run it like a corporate 500 company. Why wouldn't I? If you have the potential to produce 7 figures in your practice, why wouldn't you? And some doctors go, I don't want to be that busy doctor. I'm like, that's cool. But you still run it as if you're running a $500,000 or $250,000 business. And that's how you build it. So you have the potential to actually serve more people, make more money, and be profitable. And when you're profitable and you're making dollars, guess what? You can serve more associates, build more practices, serve more people.
Yep.
You know, you weren't made to play life small. You're here for a very short dash. And in that dash of life, you want to play big or go home. That's my philosophy. And, you know, it's one of the things that I look at when doctors start coaching with me. I ask them, where do you want to go? I just want to go to 100 doctors. I'm sorry, I'm not the coach for you. Because the level at which I play is a totally different level now than where a lot of doctors want to go. So we want doctors who want to serve more, play big, or go home. So that's important with team. And then the next component is marketing. Now this is really important, guys. I want you to write this down. Because when we talk about marketing, there are three components that you need to focus on. And one is internal, second is external, and third is social media. Now, I've been coaching doctors for years, and the danger with focusing on one pillar is that pillar can be stripped from you, and you can lose it. And don't think it can.
Right.
For those of you who follow things like Facebook, you know the algorithms change. You know Facebook ad costs are increasing. I had a doctor coaching with me. He was packing 300 people in a room, Johnny, doing diabetes workshops. Well, guess what? The Diabetes Association's bitch and complain because his URL was ranked number 1 over theirs, right? So natural care over drugs, right? But he won. But they complained to the board, and the board went in and stripped his license and gave him a hard time. And that's why you cannot rely on just one pillar. So you got to get multiple pillars.
Right.
So internally, know how to ask for referrals. That's key. Know how to get families and these called the family gift certificate. It's my gift to the doctors listening. You'll be able to download it from my website. It's phenomenal. It's a little health pass, a little script you get on the checkout after day 1. And we get 9 out of 10 people are bringing their spouse, their kids in for a checkup. So kaboom. You turn one person into 4. It works like gangbusters. I use it. We use it in practice every day. And then that just allows you to grow. So, and then there's workshops. Internal workshops, workshops through practice. You can draw people from outside in. There's multiple ways of doing that. External includes things like your dinner workshop. Your dinner workshops work well. I love giving it. I love to talk. I love to give lectures to people. So when we bring people to a restaurant, we do Facebook ads to a landing page into an opt-in, and you can do things like Wine, Woman, and Wellness. It's a new program by a good friend of mine, Clint Steele. It's doing it for the women chiropractors that want to do like wine gatherings, like a dinner workshop. And then external, for new doctors starting out, getting out there doing screenings. Screenings still work, but it's a great way to build a base. Okay, and then we get into social media, and this is really important because it's shocking. Only 5% of chiropractors are tapping social media. And, you know, I'm very blessed. I've got a really great friend, Matt Luke, in Atlanta. And Matt, he just ran a seminar, a social media summit in Atlanta. It's a good one to go to, chiropractic down there. Go to Matt's summit every year. He runs it this same last weekend, end of August, mid-August, that he runs it. If you just Google Matt Luke Social Media Summit, you'll find it. But he runs it every year in August. But we get together, and we go to the Caribbean. This is really cool because we do an Ultimate Caribbean Adventure Mastermind, and all we do is we focus on social media. So we teach on Facebook, we teach on Instagram, email, YouTube, we teach on websites, we teach on retargeting Facebook ads, things that can draw new patients to your practice. Now think about this. I said earlier we're the fast kept secret. People out there suffering with migraines and headaches, back pain, sciatic pain. Okay, yeah, they're at that pain level. But you know what? You can use a retargeting Facebook ad. They watch your content videos. You retarget them when they watch 25 to 50%. You give them a offer, call to action, and they come into your practice. And we're getting like 30, 40 new ones a month. 30, 40 new ones a month. What sort of damage would that do to your practice? It's just kaboom. And this is the runaway success that we have because we have the systems in place. We have the marketing on top of that. And then we have, you know, the conversions through to anniversary wellness care at the back end. This is the sort of runway growth we have for Dr. Shreen. So that's important because 1 in 1,000 people in your neighborhood per month are looking for the next chiropractor. So if you're in a city of 50,000 people, that's 50 people per month are looking for a chiropractor. So one, you've got to be prevalent on social media. And then that brings me to the next one, which is your website. Now, years ago, Johnny, I got really frustrated. A lot of my clients were saying, you know, my website's not pulling, it's not effective. So I went and researched over 200 websites, marketers who were doing really effective on their marketing campaigns. And out of frustration, I created my own website company. And when doctors go to hfcwellness.com, they'll see Dr. Shrink, which is my wife's. It's sort of the beta, so we keep adding new plugins and stuff. And that website generates 3 to 5 emails per week. And the nice thing with that is that what we do is we focus on 3 components: reach, engage, and convert. So how do we reach people by getting the top 3 URLs when people Google? How do we convert people? So we use direct response. And then how do we engage? And we use what are called actions or follow-up funnels, which engage people because they might say no for now, and then we just have a follow-up system. So we have this really cool technology that we put into websites, and we can even use the systems like AdRoll and Google review plugins and reputation management that really gives us that insane competitive advantage. So when people are searching, they're going to see Shireen's website, which is different than everybody else's. She's a stunningly beautiful lady. I'm very blessed to have her in my life. And we do a welcome video. We have a call to action, video testimonials. And people keep coming back to that website. They're blown away, and they're coming here. So like tomorrow, I'm processing like 70 patients a month.
Awesome.
And this is like Monday, we process 70 patients. It's like boom, boom, boom every day. But you can see when you have multiple pillars: family gift certificates, workshops, dinner with the dog, your social media. I'm not talking just your Facebook Lives and your news feeds, but your paid ads and your Instagrams. And all of these things start to accumulate, and that creates what I call social media dominance. So now you're dominating the social media world. The rankings are high. Your blogs are going up on a regular basis, and you have a system that works. So, that's real important that the doctors understand that they can draw people in who are looking for them. People are searching for them, but we are keeping it the best kept secret. So we run Shireen's practice like a business.
Yeah.
Here's the next component to the blueprint, and that's you, and that's personal. And I've been, coaching doctors for 20 years. I used to do, a lot of weight training. I did a lot of HIIT training, a lot of, powerful workouts. And what I discovered is that by getting myself together in physical, in nutritional, in mental, and spiritual component, that when I focused on those 4 components, that really allowed me to serve more people. Because, I have some doctors that go, I'm tired after seeing 50 people a day. Well, you got to nut up. And, I would say to my clients, no excuses, Buttercup. Let's get on the weights. Let's do some core. Let's start running a couple miles a day. Let's get our physical self. Because your body as a temple has got to be able to serve lots of people. You have to have resilience. You have to have the strength or the finesse if you're adjusting, and you have to have the system. So that's where the T-bar is nice, because you can drift between patients, make your notes, and serve more people. So the distinction that I would say between the winners and the strugglers in this profession, and I want you to write this down, guys. Number 1, you have to have a vision. You can't see it here. I'm going to see if I can sort of focus on it. But that there is my vision board. I see that every day when I come into my office, and that keeps me anchored as to where I want to go in life. My personal, my business is on there, and it just keeps me laser focused. So vision, know what you want, see it every day. Number 2, they have to be hungry. You have to be hungry like you want air every day, like you want food. You have to be hungry, and you got to do WIT, whatever it takes. And, it's funny, I was talking about this tonight, Johnny. My power went out, my computers are dead. Hey, man, we found a way.
Yep.
I had Skype on my phone,
Yep.
my password. It took me half an hour, but I said, hey, come hell or high water, we're going to do whatever it takes to get on this call.
Yeah.
And then they understand investment versus cost. And that's really important because, right now you're investing in your education. I know a lot of doctors are $150,000, $200,000 in debt. That's a cost, but it's also an investment because you expect that investment to give you a high ROI, or return on investment. So the doctors that will put a couple $1,000s, like we pay about $1,500 in Facebook ad costs. We have our costs for doing the Facebook ads, so we spend between $2,000 and $3,000 a month just alone on our Facebook ad costs. But I know my case average is $2,500 to take one person to pay for it.
Right.
So that I'm willing to invest. 10% of your gross creates runaway growth. 7% will create moderate growth. 5% you'll be static. status quo. So really invest into your practice and measure your return on investment. That's really key.
Yeah.
And run your practice like a business. Have your team meetings. Have your 5 objectives. Have your bonus systems. Have your training. Do what you need to do to make sure you run a well-oiled machine. It's always funny, and I can say this. We consider our practice Starbucks towards many of the Dunkin' Donuts out there, and you can't have a Starbucks in a chiropractic world.
Yeah.
So those are some of the key areas, Johnny, that I really wanted to focus on. I don't know if you have a chat room on your system if people are asking questions, but just for a break, I want to give some action steps that doctors can actually follow through with.
For sure.
All of it stems from the website, which is www.chiropractic-masters.com. Now, on my website, I have a lot of freebies. I have on there my marketing calendar. So what we do is a lot of things I talked about tonight, I throw in a calendar. I keep upgrading it every year. It's there for you guys to download. You can go there. You can download. There's some upsell products there as well. You don't have to get that. You just get the calendar if you want. The family gift certificate with the script is there. Especially doctors in practice. This little health pass. You print it out at Vista Print, any print house. And it's a simple script. You have your CAs, give it on the checkout. I've got doctors emailing me, go, Mike, thanks. I got 7 new patients this month from it. I got 10 new ones. I got 15 new ones. So it's an easy procedure that you put into your promotions and your procedures that produces new patients. And there's also my book, which is the FISA form code, and they can download that for like $7. The print version is coming out shortly. It's going to be $19.97. And we have a company we're working with called Profit First, which will actually give you the outline of how to be more profitable in chiropractic, which is so woefully lacking.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that they can do for resources. The doctors who are listening in can go into my library. A lot of the resources we talked about are in the Jetpack library. It's a 14-day free access. You go in there, have fun with it, play with it. And it's $67 thereafter, no contracts. You can jump out anytime. But that's my 20 years of research, libraries, filming. There's training videos, there's resources. There's 6 categories, and it's really cool because I have doctors going in there and going up $5,000, $10,000 a month overnight, like in 30 days. So that's where we're rolling out September 1, Johnny, our 30-day practice growth and marketing challenge. I'm giving some of the best stuff. The doctors can go and just build their practice. And then the last thing we have, which is really cool, is my annual summit. It's called Prosperity 10X Summit. And that's October 25th and 26th. It's in Washington, D.C. And it's for students, it's for doctors, and I bring the best practice builders and marketers to share with you techniques, technologies to have your best year ever. And that's a phenomenal summit. I've given it, this is our 10th annual one. The first 7 were given in Toronto, Canada. Now that we're here in the U.S. and we're international. So I have doctors flying from the UK, Canada, US, and that's over 2 days, 12 speakers total, and it's going to be a phenomenal weekend. So I'd love to have the doctors join us on that. So there's 4 different resources that they can get from the website.
Awesome, Doc. I appreciate you. This was fire. So I want to recap real quick for all the docs and students watching this. So we're on, Dr. Mike Reid just dropped so much knowledge. So you can see my show notes here, just like following along. But, I'm going to go back and watch this over and over and over again because this is what we need in the profession. We need more people willing to give as much value and content as Dr. Reid was able to do tonight. And it's podcasts like this that people can listen to, and literally any of my classmates, we're 12th quarter at Life University right now. Like, if you are later in the program and you are wanting to get started right away, coming out of the gate, starting and opening a practice, like, this is the content that you need to be absorbing on a daily, weekly basis. You cannot wait until you're out and get your empty diploma and all of a sudden you're like, oh, who's around to help me? We're helping you right now. So it's on this podcast. It's here on this show that you are going to find the content, find the value. So thank you for being here. You can head to prosperitysummit.net to get to head to an RSVP for Dr. Mike Reid's summit or seminar or conference, whatever you want to call it, on prosperitysummit.net. And then also that's in Washington, D.C., And then he gave a bunch of free stuff away, or is giving a bunch of free stuff, and has a ton to offer on his website, chiropractic-masters.com. And those are all on the bottom of the screen here. So please just go to those websites and be sure to check it out. And yes, I'm going to answer a question quick. Does he have seminars? Does he do seminars? Yes, the Prosperity Summit is his seminar in Washington, D.C., so please check that out. Go ahead, Doc.
So at the bottom of the website, if doctors go right to the very bottom of the website, they'll see events and calls they can join and things like that. So we do 2 trainings here in Richmond. It's live right in our practice. It's also a training center. It's got a film studio there. So we do a blueprint, which walks them through all the procedures, and we do the new patient machine. Now, the social media summit is known as the UCAM. That's the Ultimate Chiropractic Adventure Mastermind. They go to ucam.fun. That's UCAM.fun. And they can learn more about that. That link is at the bottom of my website. And then Prosperity 10X Summit is our annual summit in Washington, and that's all practice, growth, and marketing. So those 4, if they immerse themselves in my system for the first year, they would absolutely explode. And you can come as a Jetpack member, so you can go. If you don't have the nickels to coach with me, because the inner circle is the $9.97 a month. But if you don't have that point, you start at Jetpack. All Jetpack members, I get on the phone, I give them 30 minutes, I give them the right direction to go, and you will jump 5,000 to 10,000 a month. Just do this, 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 and this. You don't have to go recreate the formula. You want to make gourmet chocolate chip cookies, you follow a gourmet chocolate chip cookie recipe, and that's what we have. We have the formula, we have the recipe, we have the personal empowerment. Doctors around the world are exploding. My average doctor grows 3 to 4 fold. So Benny Matthews in the UK went from 200 to 600. Clayton Roach, 200 to 600. You know, I have a girl in British Columbia struggling at 8,000 a month, and she just 1 year with me, she started at 35,000 a month. So the average doctor will just absolutely rock. You don't have to go and create the wheel. So all the products are there.
Absolutely, Doc. We appreciate that immensely. So if to jump back to the beginning of the episode, chiropractic profession, we talked about not having any borders and that we need to get to the public and change the public perception, and we have to not keep chiropractic a secret. I mean, like, for Pete's sake, like, get this word out there. And the more systems and procedures that you have in your office to promote your office, like we talked about in your blueprint for marketing, you have internal, external, social media, and your website. Like, if you have those 4 things going for you on a daily basis, then you are going to be in the limelight in your community. And that is what we need. We need more chiropractors being in the front of the center of attention in their communities, so people are coming in. And yes, it is about the patient's health and well-being, but yes, it is also about chiropractic getting to the masses so we can, finally get over 20%, because we're not even close right now. I think, what are we at, Doc? 10% of the population, not even?
No. And here's the sad thing is 10% have used chiropractic, but our utilization rate is about 2.7.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. So the more you build these systems and procedures in your office, not just the marketing component, but the internal referrals and everything like that, that spreads your chiropractic message throughout your community like wildfire, which is absolutely amazing. So, Doc, without further ado, thank you so much for being on the show. Please give us some closing remarks before I throw out a shameless plug here and close the episode up.
Hey guys, here's what I recommend is, success breeds success. So find people. There's a lot of great coaches out there. If you're not coaching with me, find somebody out there you can coach with. And, I learned by spending about 3 years with all my coaches over the last 27 years. I've actually had 10 different coaches. I coach now on social media, and, I'm loving it. I stay hungry. I put in like crazy 18-hour days every day. So, here I've been in the profession almost 30 years, but, I'm still hungry for it. I love it more every day. Hang around success. Go visit doctors that are high volume. See how they practice. Find a coach. Go to seminars. Immerse yourself every quarter. Not in the camaraderie. Stay humble, because you will always learn. And that's the sort of closing note I want to leave you guys with. You're not alone out there. We want to see you successful. I've got so many years in the profession. I've got to pass the baton. We want winners out there. We want people serving as many as you physically can and teaching the new kids coming up behind you.
Absolutely, Doc. Absolutely. Very inspirational words. Surround yourself with successful people and surround yourself with people who are doing it, right? Like, or who have done it. Because I find a lot of times people get attracted to these loudmouths on the internet that aren't actually in the game, or they haven't done it before. And I feel like that's a big struggle for chiropractic students, especially because it is a very saturated market for chiropractic students, and we're bombarded with new things, new coaches, new practice management groups, all that stuff. But follow what resonates with you. And like Dr. Mike said, if you're not coaching with him, find somebody that you resonate with and follow them and learn from them. And then also pick brains of people you shadow. And if you're at chiropractic school, there are tons of chiropractic offices around you. Why? Because they all want associates. So go in there and shadow the doctors and learn from them. Learn what you like, learn what you don't like, and then learn to coach and be with someone and mentored by someone like Dr. Reid so that you can go out and blast off day one in practice. So without further ado, I am going to do a shameless plug. Please, if you enjoyed any of this content, please share it around Facebook with your virtual corner of this world. It is amazing what technology has brought us, and it is amazing what technology can do for us. So please share this video, like this video, and get it to as many people as you possibly can. Also head to thelegendarychiropractor.com to check out all that we are doing and everything that we have going on, including, but not limited to, those Life University students coming up September 6th. We have our first ever in-person event and workshop called the Practice Blueprint Workshop, and we are going to be breaking down all of the strategies and systems, just like we talked about tonight with Dr. Mike Reid, and we are going to be breaking all of them down in order to build your successful practice from day one. And we're also going to be talking about the mindset. You talked about vision, Doc. We're going to be talking about the mindset and the strategies to create that mindset and bring the chiropractic philosophy to the people and to the public. Thank you so much, Doc, for being on the show tonight. I love and appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in, even when your power went out. I love it. I love the courageousness and the tenacity. It's amazing. So thank you for that. Thank you for providing us free content and amazing content through candlelight, I suppose.
It worked.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Doc. Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Bye now.